All right. So I'm going to be going over my 2025 Game of the Year awards. I just started doing this last year, so I'm going to keep trying to do it every year. And yeah, so like this one's going to be maybe a little shorter because a lot of the categories. Oh, I guess, yeah. Well, I don't have as many listed, even though I played even more games that I did last year. But a lot of my games this year are from games that are like a year or older, and so like just a quick overview of the criteria. Is like it's only games for the that word this year for like the main awards, except for like I have like obviously I have like this own individual category of um, games that I older than a year that I just played for the first time. But anyway, from January to 1st, December 1st to, so I think like it's really important to have the full year, unlike some of these award shows that are just so quick to try to either beat each other to the punch or whatever excuse they have. They claim that advertising is better in December, but a lot of really good games come out in November, and so that'll eliminate like pretty much all of those games, like unless reviewers got a copy like really early and it's a short game. But other than that, like some of the best games every year get like put to the wayside, and then even if they are technically allowed, like you see every year, like you saw this year, like Indiana Jones got snubbed big time in multiple categories because like it's because the game's over a year old at that point, so people that kind of forget because that was a December release. So like yeah, December games and November games, there's a lot of games coming out around the end of the year, so it's like it makes no sense not to include the actual full year, which is like normally I would even do this later. I'm doing this actually on January 1st, but I all the games that I beat all the games that I feel like would be contenders, and like the only games I just started like a few days ago I just started Final Fantasy Tactics, but that's a remaster, so that's not eligible. And then I couple like a week ago or a week and a half ago I started Banisher's Ghost of New Eden, and so that's the only one that like might be worthy. Or but I don't even think that's from this year. I can't even remember. But either way, like I'm not positive it is or isn't worthy. But other than that, like I beat the rest of these games. So yeah. So yeah, that was the other thing is like it's BS to just have a game like some of these remasters are borderline just like they're just re-outputting the resolution almost. Like it's like they're so lazy, so like that obviously doesn't deserve to even be in consideration. And then some of the remakes are not even real remakes, like like The Last of Us is like that's in reality it's just a remaster, and that does not deserve to be in any category on winning any award show. It's just such a like it's just a straight up lie. It's not a remake. Um, so like I think like just to like be safe, even if like so like the remakes and remasters are only available in their own category. Like I have here, which like I again since I just started Final Fantasy Tactics, like I don't feel like I should even list it because like I was gonna put it at third because like I was like, oh, like I barely played it, and it's just like they didn't, but it's like it's like it might end up being my number one, so I didn't want to really put it because I'll save that for next year, I guess, because I could be one of my favorite games of the year, but like I've done like 5 missions on it, so and that's the other thing is like I'll give myself like 2 weeks or even a month to like catch up. That's what I think you should like not put out the award show unless you have a chance, if anything's worthy, like a chance to beat it. But that game, like that's a long slow game, so like it could be like March by the time I beat it, like since I just started it. So like it's like that was the only game that would like I would consider holding off on doing this later on. And then yeah, like I said, like it's like since this is just my personal one, it's like only ones that I played. So there's like going to be a lot of really good stuff that's left off that I just didn't get a chance to play. Um, I played a lot of games. I played like I think I wrote it down over here, like 48 games. Well, counting those the last two that I just barely started. Um, and but that's still like obviously there's a bunch of really good ones I didn't get to. And then so like the only games I played could be in the category, but again, like I put in like if it's like graphic fidelity, like I didn't play Death Stranding 2, but like I can look at the videos on that on YouTube and in like the 4K videos, and you can see like how amazing it looks. But like obviously I haven't played it, so it couldn't be eligible for like a game of the year for me. And then yeah, this is just kind of if you can look at this as I'm talking. It's just like I'm just kind of breaking down like why it's like the advantage and disadvantage of my personal like doing it as one personal independently, and then like these are the disadvantages. But anyway, yeah, I'll get into the actual awards. Like I mentioned I didn't clickbait. Obviously, I have all the results right up here, so you could just look and not get like forced to watch like 40 minutes of video before you get to the number one of the game of the year category. Like the number one is no shocker. Like I mean that's most people's game of the year. This was like hands down by far the best game of the year. Well, I mean I guess like some of these other ones are actually really great too. Like they're not that far behind it, but like it's just that Expedition 33 was like in literally every single category. It's at least a 9 out of 10. Like other than like maybe the animation is like an 8.5 or an 8 like, but even like that would be debatable. Like yeah, like there's certain like character animations that are like a little like choppy and buggy, so like maybe like an 8.5 on that. But other than that, like yeah, it's like an incredible story and plot, and characters, like some of the best ever for characters, and the music is one of the, like I have that as the soundtrack, original soundtrack. That's like one of the best original soundtracks of all time. It might even be the best. It's like I didn't really thought down and think of that, like because obviously like the best soundtrack ever would be like Smash Brothers Ultimate, because it has like all of the best songs of all like dozens and dozens of some of the best games of all time, like, and some of the best songs from those games, like, so that one's, but that's like cheating. But like if that's the best soundtrack of all time, it's just like it's like, oh, here's the best video, like some of the best video game songs of all time, and like here's like literally hundreds of them on that game. So like that's, but other than a game like that, or a game like a Rock Band or Guitar Hero, where it has like a collection of the real world best songs of all time, like for a game that just like made its own songs in the game, like it might be the best of all time. Like there's like so many that are so great. Like it's like one of the rare games where you could actually just like listen to the in-game soundtrack as like in your personal like playlist, or as like a playlist on its own. And then yeah, like I said, the premise is really great. It's just like such a cool premise, and like the way just like the execution on the plot and the story and the characters is all like, yeah, that's, I have it as number one as that. Best, and I had it as the best art direction too. Like I mean, I have this video here. This is from like close to the beginning of the game. I didn't want to like, I was gonna do like the Simon boss fight that I beat without cheesing, but that would be kind of like, there's still like a lot of people that are just getting into this game because it's winning all these awards. So I didn't want to put anything like late game. and I didn't want to put like the very first video either, because like that would be like a lot of cinematics and stuff. But yeah, it's like very beautiful, and it also thematically makes sense. Like if again, I can't really get into that because of the spoilers, but yeah, just yeah, it looks really cool. And then I have these three like visual fidelity, art direction, and overall graphics, because like visual fidelity, that's just like straight up like if you put something down and show footage of it, like which one looks the best, like the highest detail and the highest quality. And like I said, you don't have to like play Death Stranding 2 to see how amazing it looked, like just from a fidelity standpoint. And then I put like Doom the Dark Ages as right behind it, but also Doom the Dark Ages has good art direction, and then like its performance and everything. I put performance under visual fidelity too, because if a game was like if Death Stranding 2 ran at like 12 frames per second, then it's like, oh, it's like it would, it would hurt your eyes, and it would be like ugly in a certain way. But like, so that's another good thing about Doom, is like it runs really fast and good performance. And then so like best overall graphics is a combination of it too, because like that was the thing about Death Stranding 2. I put it as like out of like the ones that are worthy of it, on the lower end of visual fidelity, because of art direction, because like it is just like the environments are really beautiful, and like, but the other than that, like it's just like the character designs and like the inner building kind of areas and stuff, those are well designed, but the outside world is just like, it just looks good, but it's just like kind of barren and plain. As opposed to like Expedition 33, everything in the whole game is like super designed. Like the menus, I forgot to mention, that's part of it. Like for art direction is like the menu design and how you interact with it, like how the UI and stuff is like, it's super smooth and looks really good. So yeah, like those are the top for that. Like I have so I just wanted to transition, since I was talking about Expedition 33 and as far as visual fidelity and stuff, because I had that as like, it looks really good too. So it's like it's worthy of being mentioned. I had other games above them, but then the art direction is what I was saying, like number one, and then like overall, like the combination of the two, it does both really well. Like I put Doom of the Dark Ages ahead of that, but for back to yeah, like I wanted to go over Expedition 33 first, because that's kind of like a good example of how it's doing everything well. And then yeah, like even like and I said, the characters are great. I have like these fun awards, just like the best villain. Yeah, like Renoir was great. He's a villain like you. He's like mysterious and scary at first, kind of, and then you get to like, oh, is he right? Like whenever you question, is a villain right, then that's usually a good sign. And then like SK he's just like so lovable. I put that as the best dude. And then Lune, best girl of the year. And Clea, a close runner up, because she's the one that's really holding down the family. And I can't get too much into it, but yeah, she's if you beat the game, and then I had Maya is one of the worst girls. That's again, it's like that one might be controversial. People might get set up that, but that's another. You play it's you get to the ending and you'll understand why I put that. If you at least understand, you might really disagree, but like you'll at least know why. And then so yeah, that was just like an incredible game, and it's like a must play. And Ninja Gaiden 4, that was my second favorite game. That one, this will probably be different from a lot of people's list, but yeah, like I really love high quality, like fast paced, precise, like deep action, and so like that's Ninja Gaiden. Is like the combat is just incredible, and uh, this version took like the speed and like up to the next level while still maintaining like the precision, and uh, everything else is like the graphics are pretty decent. Like they're obviously an improvement from the last one because it's been a while, but uh, they're plenty good enough for today's standards. They're not like, again, I didn't put it on the list for one of the highest of the year, but um, like the designs look cool. Like I almost put it on best, on art direction. Actually, it's probably a better art direction than Death Stranding 2. I should probably change that. I don't know. But like as far as like the story and the characters, it's like it's exactly what you need. It's just like, yeah, there's the Dark Dragon Lord's gonna be reincarnated. You're a ninja and you're out there and you just gotta like, it's just an excuse for like a super ninja to go around and fight a bunch of crazy enemies and bosses, and that's all you really need. Um, so yeah, that game was just like the Ninja Gaiden and Bayonetta are two of my favorite games of all time, and so that one really delivered. And then Blueprints, um, that was a really special game. Like, kind of came out of nowhere. That's like a puzzle roguelike game. And normally, like, I don't like roguelites, but yeah, this one was really good. It's one where you obviously, like, the good ones are ones where you permanently build on stuff on pretty, at least most runs. I guess like it's not as good as Hades as far as like most run. Like in Hades, no matter, even if the worst run possible, you're still like you're adding to your character a little bit. But you do have a lot of dead runs in Blueprints, but for the most part, like, you're permanently adding to your to your end goal. And like, yeah, what's just the crazy is like, I'd say like the first 2 hours I was like, like, I don't see what the hype is. Like, I'm not sure about this. And then that was somewhere around like 2-3 hours in, when you get it's like when you get your first permanent upgrade, you're kind of like, oh, okay, I could see this. Like, I see where it's going. And then it's like when you get your first significant permanent upgrade, that's when like it really clicks. Like, so it could be anywhere from like 2 to 5 hours in, and you're like, oh, okay, this game is fun. And then when you satisfy like the first goal of getting like your goal that you're told is like, okay, get to the throne room, because if you do that, you'll get the deed, so you'll inherit the mansion, and like that's like you win the game, right? And that's how you'll like roll credits. But that's really just like essentially you beat chapter 1, and that's when you're like, oh shit. Like, and by the time you're getting close to that, or you get that, do that, you're like, you realize like, oh wait, this game's like 10 times bigger and more deep and complex than I thought it was. And then yeah, so like there's like a ton to do. And then I it's one of the rare games where I deliberately tried to 100% it, and which was really difficult, because there's like things like that requires the 1 day run where you beat the game in one in-game day, which was really hard. And then the dead end one was super hard, where you have to like draft 20, that's like 22 dead end rooms. And but yeah, like yeah, it was like each 3 of these top 4, like Expedition 30, well, actually all 4 of these games, I'd say the top 4, like those, one of the, like, things that made them so great is all 4 of those like made you feel bad at, like, Expedition 33 makes you feel like you're a badass because you're like at playing games, because like once you get like the pairing, like the better you get at pairing, well, and it's actually pretty, well, I thought it was easy at first, but obviously there's like harder enemies with tighter windows. So like, but that game makes you feel like you're badass by like executing the parrying. And Ninja Gaiden 4 makes you feel like that, like, again, like, because it's so fast paced and intense, like, and your character is badass, like you're just going crazy. and then Blueprints makes you feel like you're a genius. Well, sometimes it makes you feel like you're a moron, and but like it does both of those. But the point is like it make like when you get to solve the puzzles and everything clicks, you're like it's really satisfying. And then Doom: The Dark Ages, that one's like you just feel like you're badass because you're just like you're just tromping through like all these hordes of guys and like nothing can stop you, and like they really glaze up the Doom guy like all time high. It's like that really adds to the game, I think. Like that's why I put him as like number 2 best dude, is because like they're just like it's the way they do such a good job of like whenever you see the cinematics from like you get it from the villain's point of view and they're like, oh yeah, this is going really good, we're like destroying the humans and all this, and then but they're like, hey, but like we're running out of time here, like we're not getting it done quick enough because he's coming, like like they're referring to you as like the Slayer's coming, like we got to get out of here, like we're winning, yeah, it's easy, but like we got to get out of here, like. And then yeah, like like it's in like the trailer too of how they're like, yeah, like all like all the most powerful armies in hell, and like they're all like afraid of this one guy. And oh, man, there's like another like really big moment where it was like, yeah, it was like I don't know if I should reveal it because it's kind of, I mean, it would be kind of, I mean, it's not that big of a spoiler, but I'll just save it. Anyway, they really do like it's a moment where they really like they really put him on like a pedestal where it's like, hey, like we can't beat this guy, like, so like we just got to get out of here, like that's like from the villain's perspective. Oh yeah, I'll add that. And then there's like the part where they're basic like the good guys are gonna like lose like this super powerful ancient relic, and it's like, oh, if the Prince of Hell gets this thing, then it's like, oh, this is like terrible news. Like, this is so bad. He's gonna be almost as powerful as you are. Like, or it's like he's almost like he could almost beat the Doomslayer. Like, if he gets this thing, that's how bad it's gonna get. Like, so that was like hilarious. Um, yeah, and then so yeah, I have had that, and I had like some of the Doomslayer. The general in here is like one of the best girls. Oh yeah, Ninja Gaiden too. I had the new girl. For spoiler reasons, I don't want to say why she's up there. Because at first you're like, she seems really shady, and you're like, the main character is like a dumbass simp for like instantly trusting her. But yeah, she redeems herself. That's all I'll say. But yeah, and I had Ryu Hayabusa as like one of the best dudes. Like he, in the new one, you only play as him in, I'd probably say like a fourth of the missions. But that's another character they like. It's like awesome just how much they glaze him up, and it yeah, like they tell like the new guy, it's like, hey, like don't mess with like Ryu Hayabusa's coming. He's like, yeah, whatever, I'll fight him. It's like, no, like you're not as good as him. Like they just like straight up tell him like, you're like nowhere on his league. Like, do not fight this guy. Like, we got to get out of here. And then like they're like talking about like how like, yeah, this guy like he beat the dark dragon, like the demon dragon, who's like you're trying to like stop and beat. Like he killed that thing 3 times. Like nobody else can even beat that guy. And he's done it 3 times. Like, you're not on his level. Yeah, so that's yeah, those were like the 4 most standout, I think, and then Hollow Knight was like right behind those 4. For me, like I think those were on a different level for me, and then Silk Song was like very good. Like I think it's actually one of the best Metroidvanias ever. I just did a video on that. Uh, I guess maybe it's right up there with that. Maybe I'd put it there. It's just like the, I think like the thing that holds it back is it's hard to say because like with the Metroidvania the story's not really that important, and it which is a good thing because the story in it is like nearly not, it's like barely there. It's like, but it doesn't matter. Again, like why that game is so good is because like the exploration, which is one of like the two, it's like one of the two key parts of a Metroidvania, that and like the combat. So it has great combat, and then but the exploration is really great. Like it's a lot of those places in a Metroidvania where you like go into like, you find like a little area, and where it would normally be maybe just like one item that helps you out a little, like ups your missile count or whatever in Metroid or something, like in Silk Song that could be an entire new, like essentially like an entire level. Like it could be like just a one room that leads into a few different things, or a secret area that might be like a hidden boss in there too, or it could, yeah, again, like it could lead you to an entire section of the new map, and then that section can have one or two of those. So yeah, like just like that part was like really cool, and it has like a ton of boss fights and stuff, which I love for any game really. But yeah, most like Metroidvanias I feel like are a little too light on the bosses. It did have a lot of it had some repeating bosses, like like because I don't know if I don't know, a lot of games do that too in general, but so there was probably like too many repeating like samey bosses and like a couple of boring ones, but most of them were good. And then yeah, Grounded 2. This one was like I wasn't 100% sure if should list out on these because it's technically still just in early access, but like I mean, a full game experience is out, so I put it on like these, and just like the first one, it's really good. It's just a better version of the first one, essentially. But right now, like actually, I haven't played it after the newest content ad, but at launch it was like it probably had a little bit less content than the original. Like size wise, the map was about the same as the original map, like what they had in, and like by the time the game finishes, it's going to be like 3 times as big. But you can see some of like the areas, but like that was another reason, is because like it really isn't finished, but it feels like a finished game. Like it's like obviously like, the gameplay they just had to import from the first one, and which was already done, and like the survival and base building and gameplay is which was already done, is like there. So yeah, and that's just a really fun game. I recommend it. And the Altars, that game was really cool, really unique concept. I put that as like the second best premise. It's like you're on it's a survival, like it's kind of sim management game, and you're on like in a faraway galaxy, or no wait, it's just a faraway planet, like from somewhere else in the galaxy, I think. But either way, like you're like trying to mine this brand new material that's super rare and valuable, and but you wake up and you're the only one left alive in your crew, and so you're forced to clone yourself. But the cool part too is like when you clone yourself, you pick like different, like this new material allows you to, it's kind of like has like a time property to it. So like you pick different parts in your past life, and you like if you made a different decision, like there's like one where he drops out of college and he like that's like one of the first one, like, and there's like a mechanic, and then like there's a different one where there's like a scientist, or it's like he chose to like go to this undergrad program or something, like, or he stuck with the science field that he went to college for, instead of like going for the money. And then so yeah, you get do all these clones, and they all have these different personalities, and you got to manage them, and they like fight with each other and stuff, and uh, you have to keep them fed and happy and stuff. So it's kind of like The Sims meets like a base management game, but it's got like this really cool plot and story, and like obviously like that's a cool premise in itself, but the way it carries out on like this planet that's really dangerous, like it's a cool thing. I don't want to spoil that. um, and then yeah, Avowed, I think this game was really underrated. Yeah, I actually beat it twice. um, that universe is really cool. It's from the Pillars of Eternity universe. um, yeah, it's made by it's crazy. I have three games from one studio. Like Obsidian made Grounded 2, Avowed, and Outer Worlds 2 all in the same year. It was a pretty crazy year for them. Like all really great games. And yeah, it's just like a hub world, like open world ish hub world RPG. So it's very similar in like, well, in style to like these two are similar, Avowed and Outer Worlds, and like a lot of people compared them to the Bethesda RPGs like Fallout and Skyrim. I would say like that was why we're like Avowed, I think, got hated on too much because people were trying to, they were like wanted, a lot of people thought or wanted, they were going to get exact like, oh, here's like a new Skyrim, and it's like that's not what it was trying to be. Like it's more character focused on like the combat's way better than uh, the Bethesda RPGs, and then like the characters are better, I think, too. And but instead of being like one continuous open world, it's like you click, you travel to one spot, and it's like a huge ass hub of, so it's like almost more like Starfield is now too. So like obviously, oddly enough, like, but that one works a little different, like with the way you technically could, one planet could be massive where you just like take off and re-land over and over. But anyway, yeah, it's like it's the combat in it, for that style of game, it's probably like the best ever in Avowed. Like it's really good, the combat, and the exploration is also kind of better than those games normally are, because you can clamber up objects, which makes things easier, and you can move vertically a lot better than those games you normally can, and like a lot faster and more precise. And then the RPG mechanics are good. The gear was, oh yeah, there's something about, oh yeah, because also it's like there's no, wait, now I'm getting mixed up. Oh yeah, the low level gear is kind of like wasn't great. Like the unique stuff was good, but like the low level gear is like just kind of annoying to deal with. But in since their other game, Outer Worlds 2, like they did something. That game also had like it had good combat, but it's a first person shooter RPG. So like as far as shooters go, there's games that are mechanically a little better, but it's like good enough. It's up as for like a single player RPG. It's still very good, and like it's more like it's not like super clunky like a Fallout 3 or even 4. So yeah, it feels smooth and stuff. But one of the things that they did really cool, like I like that, I think like almost all these games should do like as a standard, is they just took away like over encumbrance. Like once you play that game, you'll realize like, oh, like all those games like that where you get like there's like loot all over the place everywhere. Like every game like that should just do like no limit to how much you can hold. Like it just makes it like so much less annoying to go around and explore, and instead of having like choose between either like spending tons of extra time traveling back and forth or investing all of your stats into one area that's not even very good, other than just, oh, you can carry more, or just like leaving behind a lot of good stuff. Like those are like your choices, and so yeah, I think more of them should do that. And yeah, I did like I've only did one playthrough of this because it's kind of newer, but I do want to do more because the ending, like as you get towards the end, it's going to be a lot different in this game. Because like I did an ending where like I got which was apparently like super rare, where I got like two of like the main factions that don't like each other to ally and work together, and so that was like a really cool ending and stuff. But I also like there was one like skill or character level check or something that I was off from getting like an idealized ending, so like I ended up having this like, well, I didn't even choose to, like I probably would have, but like the like a character sacrifices themselves because I didn't like, it's possible to have that not happen, but like I didn't, there was like a skill check that I failed, so like my whole crew made it except for one sacrificed himself to like save the galaxy or whatever, or save the solar system. And then yeah, but I wanted to check out some of the other endings where you go with like really off the beaten path and stuff. And yeah, the writing and stuff and humor is really good in both of those games. Like the character writing and stuff. And then yeah, like I'll come back to this list. This is my top 10 that I didn't play this year. I just wanted to go over all of the stuff from this year that I didn't. Kind of already went over this, or I went over the visual fidelities. Those are kind of self-explanatory. Oh, I put like for art direction, South of Midnight deserves to be mentioned, and Keeper. Most people didn't even know about Keeper. That's like a Double Fine's game. It's like like a smaller game, but it's like really beautiful, and it's like you play as a lighthouse, like the living lighthouse that walks around and stuff, and the whole game is like, it's like a living painting almost, like the way it's like the art design and stuff. So that's why I put it in there for art direction and graphics. And then let's see if there's anything I missed. I'll just go over the things that I missed in the other categories. Best premise, I kind of like, that's just kind of like the best setup for a game. And like Expedition 33, like I said, like it's really creative, and the altars, I went over those. So Grounded 2 is just like, yeah, you're shrunk down into the backyard and you gotta survive, like, and there's bugs and stuff, and like it's just like a basic cool game idea that works. Same with like Ninja Gaiden 4, like I said, you're just like this badass ninja. You gotta go around and fight everything. It's just like the whole game is just an excuse to fight cool stuff as a cool thing. And then like Blueprints. Well, I guess the aspect, I don't know if I was clear on it, is like you're in this mansion, right? And it's like every single day the layout is randomized, and you but like when you come to like a doorway, you choose between 3 random rooms, and then you get to the final room at the end. If you could get in there and get it unlocked and get in the door behind there, then you inherit the mansion. That's just like a cool premise that works. And then yeah, like I said, I went over the Expedition 33's soundtrack, and South of Midnight was really good too. And I couldn't really think of any of the other ones that were that notable. Like Doom of the Dark Ages was fine, it fits well. Same with Ninja Gaiden 4 was like, it's just some rock and techno music that just works really well at the game. But like there's nothing on either of those games that I would put into my playlist. I guess I wouldn't either on South of Midnight, but like it's just really well done for what it is, like for the setting and the style, and like the way, I guess like the bigger part of it is like, even though I'm not like a big fan of that style of like southern music, but it's really well done, and like the lyrics and the beat integrate with the game. So in that aspect, it's actually, it would even exceed Expedition 33's, but uh, yeah, Expedition 33 again is just like a whole slew of incredible tracks. And because yeah, for sound design, like that would be more of like the sound design category, and like for that aspect, I don't know, maybe actually I should probably switch South of Midnight and Doom, but yeah, I should do that. I'll fix that, because like I was saying, like I think that aspect like really deserves it to be bumped up. But like Doom's was really good too, because just the guns sound incredible and are super satisfying. That's why I originally had it before, because it was like, what is more satisfying for me. But like I think like the skill and like the thought that it takes to do that for South of Midnight is really worth it. And Avowed is kind of the same vein as Doom, where like the sound effects and like the spell casting chants are like super satisfying, and like the combat sounds, and then the like the background music fits really well. And like, oh yeah, another cool thing is the for like when there's like chests around and stuff, like you hear like this faint little like sparkling type noise, and it works really well. That was like a really nice touch. And then, oh yeah, I just said like the Expedition 33's. Because like the other thing about Expedition 33 as far as like integrating into the gameplay is like that, not just I was saying that on the music. That's okay. So to clear that up, the music integrates into the game, into the sound design, and into the gameplay on South of Midnight. But for Expedition 33, the sound effects in general, like for the combat, really hit. And like, so like that's really important for the timing of your parries and stuff. And like if you like the noise of the enemy's attacks, and the attacks themselves are like timed to a certain beat pretty much. And then when you do hit, like it makes like a really satisfying noise for like the hit, the parry, and like the yeah, you just have to kind of play it. Like I would unmute this, but I don't know if I'm like it's gonna do like music that's gonna copyright me and stuff, like where I am in this game. And then yeah, Black Ops 7 is just always really solid in that area, like good gun sounds and stuff, and music, and the voice acting and stuff. And then yeah, it's just pure action games. That kind of just goes along with what I mentioned. I guess the one was like Eternal Strands. Like I wasn't really come up into those other ones. That's like a Zelda. It plays a lot like Zelda. It's essentially like the two newest Zelda games, but like Breath of the Wild. But the combat's just way better than those, and like the graphics is better too. So it's basically like a better Zelda, and but it's like shorter and a little like smaller in scope and shorter, and it's like a hub world more so. But that part doesn't matter. It's just like, but yeah, like I thought it was like that style of game with like what I felt is like a new standard of combat for that game, or maybe at least like. I guess you'd say like Zelda pretty much copied Assassin's Creed, and the combat in Assassin's Creed is better than both of them. I don't know. Maybe the combat in this is better. It would be close, but they're both better than Breath of the Wild in that aspect. So yeah, I put that on their best action game, and then yeah, those were self-explanatory. And then yeah, Black Ops 7 was just like some really solid shooter action. And the zombies mode is really fun. I did this real time. I had some of those left blank. Yeah, because that was the other thing I didn't mention. I think maybe I didn't put it in here, but like in general, like I don't think like there should be like a set number of like, oh, it has to be top 5, and then if there's like 4 other games that are worthy to be mentioned that are like in consideration, or you think like it wouldn't be out of line if someone else put like The Alters as the number 1, like, oh, but we're just because like we do 5 every year and then this year had 9, you wouldn't do it. It doesn't make sense. Or having like that, some of these have like 2, because like I said, it's like nothing was like too notable, so it's not like a lot of these other ones don't deserve to just be thrown on there just because I have to have like 5 or like 3 or 10 or whatever. Like, so some of these lists only have like 1 or 2, or and then some of them have like 9. If there was 20 games that were that good, I'd put 20. And that's like I think like another flaw of like most awards, like where the ones get like snubbed. Like this year, because there was so many great games, like a lot of games did get snubbed in a lot of categories when you could have just added more to the list. Especially like and like Game Awards too, where like 50% of the awards or more are just like read in bunches quickly off screen. Like they're like, oh, the award for like best art direction, this, and this. Okay, now the winner is this. Oh, the best graphics is this, and then like even some of the awards are done in the pre-show before the show actually starts. So it's like if you're just gonna do that, you might as well like double up the size of the list or put no limit. Since you're not gonna like play music and like show a little trailer for each one and like have like honor the awards anyway. Yeah, and I just like the story and plot, like Expedition 33, I went over that, and then The Alters I thought was like the second best. Like it's worth playing just for that. And then yeah, like with the Outer Worlds 2, I put that as 2 because there's like just so many interesting outcomes, and like the like just kind of what's going on in the world, like is I thought was really interesting, like the setup. And I'm just trying to think of like how much I could. Yeah, I mean it's like the premise is kind of like, or like part of the presentation is like, oh yeah, it's like like making fun of corporatism and capitalism and stuff, but like the way it's done is really well executed. And then like the premise of like, oh, here's like all these rifts that are being opened, and the again, it's like a save the galaxy, save the world, save the solar system thing, like that. That's also like normal, but yeah, just the way they do all those is they pull it off as good. And it's like with the rift part, it's kind of like I'm gonna say this, like the way it's revealed is really interesting. Like you're not sure like how bad this problem is, what's causing it, who to side with, like all that kind of stuff about the game is really cool. And then like the outcomes are very different on the end, so your choice like seems to actually matter. And yeah, and then I went over all. Oh yeah, the best villain, like I put, so in the second best was like, this year for the villains wasn't a great year for villains. Like even these games that I said that I liked, like maybe like the some of them might have had like factions, like the Outer Worlds 2 and Avowed, and they have like some good factions, but there's no like, I guess yeah, like, anyway, like the villains aren't super standout. A lot of them are like either like a force of nature type thing, or it's more of a faction, so you can't really see a villain, or like the villain's not that great, or there is no villain. Like there's not really a villain at all in the Alters. Like yeah, there's not a real villain. Same with Grounded 2. It's more of like it's like the corporation and then the bugs, but it's not like one sole villain. like Hollow Knight, like I said, the story is not really there. And then the same with like Blueprints is like there is like a secret cryptid story, and like I think people overrate that part of the game. That's the one part I thought like there's like some interesting stuff there, but it's like so slowly put out and it's so minimal. There's not really a villain in that either. So yeah, like I only had two, and so I thought like Prince Azarac from the Doom was cool. Like, yeah, like whenever like it was cool how they like cut to cinematics where you get to see the villain's perspective on that, and like you usually don't on that type of game where there's like like this evil like demonic dude leading like an army of hell. Like you usually don't get to see like what they're planning and thinking about really like as much as they presented it from that game, like proportionately to other guys. And he actually had some depth and stuff, and it was interesting enough, I thought. And for and all these, I went over these. I went over the top three. Gustav was just like really likable too, and then the catfish from South of the Midnight was really likable. He was kind of like I don't want to see not as good version of Veska because they're completely different things and purposes, but they're both like non-human characters that are likable, that are on your side. And then yeah, I went over all these except for Tiara. She's like the human general. She's real solid in Doom. And then the worst I put Mael. Like I said, you kind of just go to the end, and then the worst of the worst is the mechanic from the altar. Is like I don't want to spoil it, you guys. You gotta like you'll know like that guy's a POS. That's all I gotta say. And then yeah, dude. Or I could say one part that's gonna not be really spoiler. It's gonna alleviate your pain if you play the game. Is just like no matter one of the things that makes him the worst is no matter what you do, no matter you could like go in and have the sole purpose in that game of just making that guy's life better, and he's still gonna be unhappy. So yeah, that's why I put that. And then Sapadal, that's the god from Avowed, and like that character was just so annoying. That was the worst part about the game, was you constantly have like this like this incoherently psychotic god like butting in constantly to your thoughts and stuff, and arguing with you and itself, and making like yeah, it feels like there's no progress you can to be made with it really. It's just like its personality is like split in a like unredeemable way, and then like I said, it's constantly like butting in, and like the way it talks is like it's like really it's really annoying. It's like really like esoteric, and it's like you cannot have like a logical like not even for a moment can you have like a logical response or back and forth with it. Like there's only like coded like what's that, it's like annoying like when people, it's like you think you're smarter than you are poetry, like talking about and quoting poetry, like that's like that, it only speaks like that. And then the Paintress I put there because like yeah, I mean yeah, that one I can't really like get into that one without spoiling, but like that one I think people will be more accepting of. I think people might be accepted by Mael. And then I just had like a couple quick other ones. Was there wasn't any expansions or DLCs that I played that I could remember. I probably played some, but the fact that I can't remember one to nominate, which should be telling. I might did I play the Diablo? I might have played. No, I don't think I played the Diablo one. I think I played it the last year's one, or did that come out this year? I can't remember. I would put the Diablo one, but like I'm not even positive that I played it this year. Like it was the Vessel of Hatred one. It's not the new one. Um, and then I don't think I even like did I play? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I didn't play any DLC from this year. I know there is gonna be some for Ninja Gaiden 4, but I don't think that comes. That's not even out yet. And then yeah, so I did best remake master. Like I mentioned, the Final Fantasy Tactics could be on there, but I have only played it for like barely at all so far. And then so yeah, Ninja Gaiden 2 Black was really good. It's just like because that's just one of that's an all time great game. And then Oblivion, that one I could see like a lot of people putting as one, and I would accept that. Like, what was great about that is, well, I guess because I put this as remake and remaster, so like, it's not a full on remake, but they actually just called it a remaster, which is honest of them as opposed to like Naughty Dog. Because I guess like technically it's I mean it is just the same game with better graphics, but then what they also added is like the combat is way better than it was, but then again like the combat's not anywhere as close to as good as Avowed's, which is like a similar game that's this year that or almost within like 1 month of release. So it's like they made the combat way better, but they didn't rebuild it from the ground up to like completely fix it. And then there was like a bunch of other things that they like quality of life things they improved on the game, which were also great. So I almost put that as one because like as far as improvements go, that improved like a lot more stuff than Ninja Gaiden 2 was. But then I just like Ninja Gaiden 2 more than the Oblivion remake. So like I just put that as one because of that. And then there wasn't many like strategy games I put again like in Final Fantasy Tactics is not eligible for this. If you're wondering, like, oh, that should be one, it's like, well, that's not. It's just a remaster, and so these were like the only two. And then I think this was the only puzzle. I usually play more puzzle games, but I mean, like these are all the games I played. That, out of the ones that came out this year, I think Blueprints is the only new puzzle game. But oh yeah, so that's everything except for the top games that I played for the first time this year that came out before this year. And then yeah, my favorite was Judgment. That's the spin-off of the Yakuza series. I bought that and Lost Judgment on sale this year. And then I haven't started Lost Judgment because I just finished Judgment kind of more recently, and then I wanted to put a little bit of a break in between the two, so like I didn't, because like those games both they have the same setting, like it's the same Kamurocho, which is the setting for most of the Yakuza games, so like I didn't want to get burnt out on it. But yeah, it's like really good. There's so much to do in the game, like as far as like mini games, side quests, story. Like the side quests are hilarious, like always in those games, and the combat was pretty good, and the story is really good, and the characters are great as always. Like those games have like they probably have like the best third tier characters of all time. They have some of the best characters in general of all time, but like I like when it comes to like not the main character, it's the supporting characters. When you just have like a random side character that's only in one or two side missions or only ties into the main story like a little bit, those level of characters are probably like they do the best ever on those characters. Like they make them, they like do a really good job fleshing them out. Like they don't spend too much time on them. It's not like they're wasted or anything where they like make you feel like they're gonna be like the main character or anything. They spend enough time on them to like fully flesh them out, and like they feel like real people and stuff. And then yeah, Prince of Persia: Lost Crowns number 2. I thought that was also one of the best Metroidvanias I've ever played. Like the combat is probably the combat is I'd say probably the best. Like it's one of the best, if not the best, in a Metroidvania. And then yeah, the story was good, and like I said, those games don't really need one, but that one had like the perfect balance of it was good. There wasn't too much of it. Like some of like I played Kenzaria, like Tales of Kenzaria. That one it was like constantly in talking in your face. It was like it's like enough of this, like stop. Even though it was good, it was like it was getting in the way of the game. And then Prince of Persia never felt like that. And then Nine Souls is another Metroidvania that was really good with that's the other one that I'd throw in there with combat, because this one Nine Souls was like more precise, which I really like as far as like the blocking and the timing and all that. The one thing, and the pairing, like it has a really good pairing, and so that I really liked. And but Prince of Persia is deeper combat, so that's why it's like hard to say. It's probably between these two for like best combat in a Souls, or not in a Souls, in a Metroidvania. And then Hogwarts Legacy, this one could move up or potentially down, but probably more likely even up in the list. But I don't know how far I am exactly, but I would estimate like are only around halfway done. So I felt maybe I could be anywhere from half to 3/4 of the way. I might be like 3/4 of the main story, but the side content maybe like 25 to 30% in or something. So like, yeah, and it depends like on how much I could play it, because I could see like I've already gotten to where like the side stuff is like I've decided like I'm only gonna minimally do it from here on out. I'm definitely not gonna try to 100% most of it, but because like a lot of it is like checkbox stuff that's like, as a non Harry Potter fan, like it doesn't interest me. But the main story is still really, the main content is still really good. So like it'll probably hold around there. It could move up, like if I would have finished it. But that was again, I guess that was the other game that I didn't finish that would change anything. But this is just such a small aspect of the words. The words for me for this is more about the stuff that was from this year and about this year, and so this is just like a small note that's interesting more. So like I'm not gonna wait another like 2 or 3 weeks to do this just for that. And yeah, Deep Rock Galactic, I recommend that. That's like it's a roguelike survival. It's like Vampire Survivors, but it's in space and you're dwarfs and with guns. So like it's just like a good one to kill a little bit of time. And then Pillars of Eternity 2 was really great. Maybe I guess I had that last year too, right? Maybe that was like a. Oh yeah, that's why it's because and usually like I list these in order of close to an order of when I played them, and so I would have played it mostly last year. Actually, that one's kind of suffering from recency bias because I actually think that one's really good. I actually probably might switch that because I just like I forgot to put it on here until today when I finished this list, and then I kind of like just put it in the middle because it's better than Deep Rock for sure. It's probably better than like, so Hogwarts might be better at the end of the day, but it was really good and I finished it, and it's like 4 or 5. I'll just move it up to 5 at least. Yeah, because that yeah, see, we're doing these on the fly. We're allowed to do this. Yeah, it's that one. It's the same universe as Avowed. This one has a better characters and story and setting than Avowed does, and I really enjoyed that. But it's a CRPG, which if you're in the mood for it, like that's fine, and it's like way improved on the first one as far as mechanics go. Um, but yeah, I prefer like the third person or first person combat and action to CRPG, and then obviously like they did like a really good job with the graphics and the setting, like but it's like obviously like Avowed looks way better and stuff. Like you can just make the world kind of, yeah, I don't know how to say it. Like you can you can just do more with the first or third person game visually. Um, Even though like again this paints the world just fine, but it's like it's less interactable and stuff. Like and it kind of limits visual fidelity is I guess what I'm saying. Like a top down like a CRPG. But like I don't know, just gameplay wise, like I enjoyed the first and third person more than that. And then yeah, Final Fantasy 16, that was a good solid game though. It was all around solid, and they had one standout and one big negative. The big standout is um, some of like the boss fights are like incredibly epic, and like the way they're carried out as far as visually goes and like choreography. Well, I guess I'll do too much, but then gameplay wise, they're kind of just like vanilla, and then sometimes they're just outright bad because they're like it's just a quick time event. It's like a lot of quick time events and like not much gameplay. But and then but the gameplay is like good, but it's not like, you know, it's nowhere near the Ninja Gaiden 4's level of combat, and it's a third person action game. Uh, and then the other negative thing about that is like I did most of the side quest stuff in that, and it actually actively made the game worse, like significantly worse, because like the side quest in, if you do play Final Fantasy 16, like I highly recommend not doing any of the side quests except for the stuff that has I think it's the plus sign or the chest. I think it's the plus sign next to it. Like those ones give you like inventory upgrades and like permanent upgrades to yourself, but you would only be doing that for those, and even those are bad ones like gameplay and story wise, but it's just like for your progression of your character you're going to want to do those. But other than that, like they're all very bad, like they're terrible, like it's like painful to get through them. And the only reason why I did the other ones because I thought like they might have rewards like that, and because like some of them also have like a chest, so it's like you can get gear, so you're thinking, oh, maybe this one's gonna give me some good gear, and it of course it does not. So yeah, and then Visions of Mana, I just beat that the other day. That was like a good solid RPG. It's an action RPG, third person. The visually, like it's stylized, like it's got a really beautiful style, and the settings are cool, and the main villain's poorly done and written, and the combat's just like it's like, yeah, it's around the same levels as Final Fantasy 16, and same thing, it's like good enough to have a good time and play the game, but it's not like you're not there for the combat. And then the dialogue, like the voice acting is like, some of it is like really annoying. Like some of the characters, and just like the dialogue, it's kind of a combination of the dialogue and the voice actors, where like the dialogue is just like really cheesy, and like it's like very one of like the more childish Saturday morning cartoon, like if like one of those ones is supposed to be serious, like take one of those ones, and then like, yeah, that's like kind of like the dialogue in it. So that's kind of why that was like lower down. But like, if you're a fan of the Secret of Mana, like it's got a lot of the same settings and characters, like brought to full life in 3D, which was really cool to see because it's like a really cool setting and visually. And I feel like the game could have been like so much better if they just tweaked some of the story a little bit and like the character writing, and I don't know, they just phoned it in on that. And then I actually played Rocket League for the first time this year, and I thought that was a fun game, and I played it with some friends. So I was like, yeah, because I was like, nah, I'm never gonna play Rocket League, because like, even though it was free to play, I was just like, okay, yeah, cool, it's like soccer with cars. Like, I'm not like a big soccer fan, and I'm like, cars are fine. I like a lot of racing games and stuff, but I was just like, okay, yeah, I get it. Like, I see it, I get it. I'm whatever. When I was actually got talked into playing it, it was actually fun, and I would play it again if people wanted to play it with me. But other than that, I wouldn't. You know, I'm not gonna go on there solo and like try and like level up and stuff. But yeah, that's it. Trying to think. Yeah, that's it for this year. 2026 is looking. Oh yeah, like, well, 2025 was like a really good year for games in general. I guess maybe I'll quickly mention games that I think could have been on this game of the year list that I didn't get to play. That it might have been, is like, yeah, maybe Death Stranding 2 could have been. I don't know. Donkey Kong Country Bonanza, like, I actually wanted to play that, and I do have a Switch, but actually, isn't it only on Switch 2, right? Never mind, it's only on Switch 2. I don't have a Switch 2. So I wouldn't have been able to play it anyway. But yeah, I just kind of, my Switch is just kind of like, I don't touch it anymore. But yeah, that would have been on there somewhere. And then is there anything else I'm missing? Maybe Ghost of Yotai. I don't know. They wouldn't have been at the top. That, like, they would have been somewhere in the bottom here. It would have made this list longer. At least I think like they would have been on here, like, worthy of it. And yeah, so, and then 2026 is looking good too. We got a new Fable, Gears, Forza, and Halo. Well, actually, the Halo is not really new. It's just a remake. So, or it's just a Halo. There's going to be 4 new prequel missions or something like that. But really, that doesn't really count, I don't think. Especially since it's only going to be the campaign. But there's going to be Gears and Forza and Fable, and then GTA 6. That game Soros and Wolverine. Obviously, there's like always a COD every year. Yeah, there's probably going to be like some secret stuff announced, because like the new Xbox might it'll probably get announced next year. If it probably won't come out, but there's a small chance it could come out at the end of next year if they do early. But it's probably going to get announced next year, so they might, like, I don't know, they might announce some. I guess they would just announce like some other games, but yeah. Anyway, kind of rambling on, so I was just gonna end it here. If you are interested, you could check out my last year's ones, and then I also just put up a video of like my best Metroid venues of all time that I played.